Like and subscribe now, or you're gonna have bad luck this week.
Kids who grew up in the late 90s would be able to relate with the craze surrounding Pokemon cards. This stuff was the thing that made you cool back in the day. All the trading, trash talking, and battling. Of course, you can also remember the few gems from here and there, which were carefully put in protective sleeves and stored somewhere safe. Well, whatever happened to those protected Pokemon cards? Maybe they're in some box stashed in the attic in a forgotten spot somewhere. Well, I think it's time you started searching for said cards, as they might land you a windfall, some being worth so much more than they used to be. You see, in this video, we're going to be counting down the top 10 rarest Pokemon cards in existence, including some of the most expensive. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and hit the bell to be notified of our latest uploads. Number 10, Pikachu Misprint card. With advanced technology, it's near impossible for card errors to be printed nowadays. As a result of this, Pokemon cards with errors are very rare to this day. Who would have thought that a mistake made several years ago would become the most sought after all over the world? The Pikachu Misprint card, at first glance, looks pretty ordinary and dull when compared to other cards, which makes it all the more surprising that this unassuming card is worth so much more just because they misprinted the first edition stamp on the corner. Most prints of this card even have an E3 emblem on the bottom corner. You're probably wondering, E3? Well, yeah, E3 was around back then, and it would seem like this card was used as a promotional card for the event. I guess the E3 emblem only added even more value and rarity to this card, which is valued from $500 up to $1,000. Number 9. First edition Shadowless Holographic Blastoise. Generally, the rule of thumb here is, if it's a first edition Shadowless card, then you might have something. But if it's this first edition Shadowless Holographic Blastoise, then you've definitely got something special, and you should hang on to it. At this point, you're probably wondering, what makes this card so special? Well, the card is unique because it was part of the original standard set that was released to players between 1998 and 1999. So if you're one of those who begged their parents to buy them cards or actually bought it themselves, you might just be sitting on at least $10,000. Take a moment to just imagine what you could do by turning that $5 you spent back in the day, 20 years ago, to now be $10,000. That's a little more than inflation, and that's a whole lot of cash there. Mind you though, even just a few cuts or tears on the card can make all the difference with how much it's worth. So here at number 8 we have the Espeon Gold Star. Golden Star cards are genuinely very rare, but the Espeon Gold Star card goes above and beyond to become the rarest of them all. This Espeon Gold Star card was released first in 2005 as a part of the Series 5 pack. The Espeon became famous and quite valuable because it was exclusively distributed at the Pokemon Players Club, and the only way to get said Espeon was by fulfilling a specific set of criteria at various events sponsored by Pokemon alone. If you were one lucky enough to meet these criteria set at the different events and got an Espeon card in return, you should guard it jealously, as that card could be worth between $7,000 and $10,000, depending on its current condition. Here at number 7 is the Magikarp Tamamushi University promo card. The name of this card is so apt due to the process involved in acquiring said card. Back in the day, to get this card, you had to actually jump through quite a few hoops that would test your Poké knowledge. After passing a series of assessments, players were invited to play a tournament held in Osaka, Japan in the summer of 1998. The tournament lasted 48 hours and really tested the battle skills of the players who were there. Given the prize they got at the end, it was certainly worth it. Those who were able to survive and make it to the winner's circle were awarded the Magikarp Tamamushi promo card, which was new at the time and actually super rare, even for back then. Since the first original printing of this card, it was only given to the winners of that tournament, and so there's only about 75 or so floating around. It's easy to see why this Magikarp Tamamushi promo card can be worth anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 in today's market. 6 is pre-release Raichu. This card is also known as a happy little accident among players and collectors in the Pokemon community, especially those who worked for Wizards of the Coast back when it came out. Wizards of the Coast, the original distributors of Pokemon cards, even denied that the card existed. Well, that was until a staff leaked it by releasing the card in 2006. This meant that it was a well-kept secret for almost a decade. You may ask why. Well, it would seem this would be another case of misprinting, because certain prints of the card were accidentally given the pre-release mark. So, Wizards of the Coast gave these extra misprint cards to their employees as a memento of the screw-up. As is expected, this card is super rare, as it was an accidental misprint given out only to employees. It's so rare, in fact, that it's actually hard to put a value or a dollar estimate on it. The exact count seems to fluctuate from site to site, and there are only about a dozen or so of these cards out there in existence today. It would seem, however, that the most realistic valuation of this card is $15,000 to $25,000, or even more. That's like a card that can buy you a car. Number 5, Tropical Wind. There are only about 10 or so of these trainer cards floating around, and there aren't many copies either. The Tropical Wind card was released as a prize in 1999 at the Tropical Mega Battle World Championship Tournament. This card is an ultra-rare find that features some cute and colorful art. It shows Psyduck and a few other familiar Pokemon relaxing in a hammock against a tropical backdrop. After all, Pokemon need vacations too. Since this card was awarded as a prize and there are so few in existence, the $20,000 to $30,000 value seems well justified. So, if you ever remember seeing a card like this, I strongly recommend you start looking and hope that it's in clean condition. There could be a sweet payday coming your way if you find it. Number 4 is the Master Key Prize card. This card is not just known for its rarity, value, or capability. It's also known for its stunning design and presentation. This particular card was actually given to all the players who participated in the 2010 Japanese Trading Card Game World Championship held in Hawaii. Printed in Japanese with a nice, colorful finish, the Master Key Prize card is known to only have 36 copies in circulation. It has this many copies because of the total 36 players who participated in the 2010 championship, as one card was printed for each player. So, if you managed to qualify for a tournament like that, you were automatically awarded this card just for showing up. That's not a bad reward, especially considering how much these cards are estimated to be worth just 10 years later. Numerous listings for this particular card have popped up on multiple sales sites over the years. There are some listings asking for $40,000. However, it seems that the $25,000 price range is more common, as that's what the card has been sold for before. Number 3, Holographic Shadowlist First Edition Charizard. The first edition Holographic Shadowlist Charizard card is probably one of the most common, yet also most sought after rare cards in the Pokemon community. That's why this card is estimated to be worth anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000 today. Of course, this worth depends on the condition. A few scratches could knock a hefty amount off that massive price tag. However, it's fair to say if you got this card, you're gonna see some serious money for it. Number 2, Trophy Pikachu. Estimated about $100,000 to $150,000. This Pikachu trainer card is one of the cutest and rarest Pokemon cards out there. This one was actually awarded to players victorious in the Japanese Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championship, taking place back in the late 90s. And that's why this card is only printed in Japanese, ultimately adding to its value and rarity. It's also interesting to note that the Pikachu trainer was actually one of the first trophy cards to ever be released. There are quite a few copies of this card circulating in the market today, some of which have been priced as high as nearly $400,000. You read that correctly, $400,000! So if you happen to have this card, I would advise that you treasure it and guard it jealously, because who knows, the value could increase even more. Now that's a worthwhile investment. Now finally, at the number 1 spot, it's Pikachu Illustrator. At this point, if you have this card in possession, breaking news, you're sitting on a gold mine. When I say gold mine, I mean a gold mine. The Pikachu Illustrator has been dubbed the holy grail of all Pokemon cards. You might ask, why is it so rare? Well, in the late 90s, Pokemon began their Pokemon card game, Illust Art Contest, aka the Korokoro Comic Illustration Contest. The contest invited players and artists alike to compete for a published spot in a Korokoro comic. But that wasn't all. The winner would also receive this special Pikachu Illustrator card, which was brand new at the time. Only 20 artists were able to receive these special Illustrator cards, meaning that there are only 20 copies of the Pikachu Illustrator in circulation, which explains why it's just so immensely rare. Imagine, only 20 copies in the entire world. This card is worth between $150,000 and $200,000, and that's largely determined by the condition of the card and whether or not it was auctioned. Now that's some insane value for just one Pokemon card. So there you have it, the top 10 rarest Pokemon cards out there. There are other cards in existence that are insanely rare that we didn't even mention on this list. And if you know of any, or you have any particular Pokemon cards that you think are valuable, be sure to let us know in the comments below. And to get more great content like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified about all of our latest videos. See you in the next one.